I know, it's terrible out there. Farm trucks all over. Okay. We're good? All right. Call the meeting to order for the Personnel Committee, November 9th, 4 o'clock. Note the absence of Adriana. She will be here shortly. I see no public to comment, so we'll move for executive session. According to Act 5 ILCS 120/2C1.
So moved, motion, yeah. My brain was trying to think of the word I need to say.
Okay. Second?
A second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
We are back in open session. And
All right, so there's a couple, if you look at item number 4, there's potential positions at 200U. Now, I'm speaking of next year.
okay,
Because obviously, the mean superintendent did some cuts this past year. And the great news is the referendum has passed. And so now we can start building back our school district and filling needs that we definitely see. So there's a couple that we're going to kind of go through. The first one is a conversation that we've had before. The SRO program is up in April, so we need to, it is not a termination if you choose not to move forward with it, but it would be an extension. So the village has reached out and asked what the plan is. I know Mr. Barber's leaving in December, and so he kind of wants to have something. He's retiring, but I'm very happy for Bob. He would like to have something kind of set moving forward, whether it's which direction you guys want to go with it. Their proposal was a 3-year, but again, it's not, I don't want to say it's a negotiation, but it's a negotiation. It's our employee, their employee. So that's kind of a conversation that we need to have, so I can reach out to Bob, what you guys want to do with that position. I guess effective April 2nd. So what are your thoughts?
any thoughts on the 1-year extension?
It's a lot of money for what we get. So I haven't been happy with the SRO program for years. We went to the board a couple years ago and the same thing, about how it's not really working how I feel that it should with the curriculum and stuff. I'm not totally against a 1-year extension, but I feel like we did this over a year ago. We did, when we were trying to dissolve it and stuff, we kind of were like, okay, well, here's another chance, let's get it to work, and we're still having issues with it working. I don't know if that's just with the village and the communication, or if it's the fact that we just need to go a different route and hire our own private SRO. So that's kind of where I'm at. If you want to, it's just how many times can we extend something that's really not working? Because it's not working very well, I don't feel. So that's where I'm at, and for the amount of money that it is, could we outsource and get something better? Or is there nothing better out there? I mean, so those are the where I'm at.
Adriana?
I would be okay with a 1-year extension if we can identify the areas we need to address, like get everyone at the same table and say, we're gonna give it one more chance. What else can we do? How else can we do it? And then maybe even include the principals. Like, what do they need or want in their own buildings for their own population at this time? And give some maybe ideas and goals of, they're very different, what a kindergarten needs and a junior high kid needs and a high school needs. And we're asking one person who's like a teacher. That's why I think of our teachers like art and music. They're doing K through 12. Their plans are going to be very different. Their professional plans and their observations with the admin will look very different when they're doing first grade, music class to choir at the high school. So I think if we can get everybody involved at one place and have that open conversation and say, we need 1 more year to get it in alignment with what everybody wants and what the program really is, and make sure we communicate to everybody, including the community, this is the SRO program, this is what we're gonna offer, and have it on the idea that if it's not working, we can go outside and seek other solutions. That's what I would say, it's just, because I think the needs of the buildings are so different, and we need to figure out, instead of looking at it as one big program, look at it as 3 small programs and combine into one.
And if I may, you said something that I think it's really important that the community understands about this program. It's not a security officer. He is not a disciplinarian, he is not a dean. That is not his role. His role is not, if he happens to be there and there was something that happened, it's not breaking up fights, and that's not the role of an SRO. The SRO is a resource for kids to A, engage with the police, and B, kind of build that SEL portion of it. And so when you say you're 100% right, at the elementary, you probably don't need that security aspect of it. But in my perspective, that's when kids are learning what the police are. And I would love for our generation of children to like the police. I really would. I think they get a bad rap when they watch TV. So that elementary is such a pivotal point where the police are good people. And I think that's the aspect of the program that I really would like to see start being developed. And I don't think we do it right now. And I think you're 100% right there. And at the high school, you're probably right. It's probably a little bit more of just a police presence and working in that aspect of it. Because by then, they've made those choices.
And I just see if maybe we can brainstorm out of the box. And I don't know what the SRO programs are, what they learn in their training. But I think if we're doing that SEL, what can they do with the health teachers? What can they do with the gym teachers? Or I think drivers ed in high school. What could they learn? And they can develop that relationship, because someone coming from a suburb, I had to learn how to drive in the country. And so our kids are learning how to drive suburban and country. So what else could he do that program-wise, like the junior high kids, taking care of yourself, all that, any of that other stuff that he can help with? I think if there's a good understanding between the people in the buildings, the staff and him, and we can get the program and the goals to all align together and decide what works, what is the actual job description, and then what is he going to do in that role? What programs fit what the goals of the district are in each of the buildings?
Well, and maybe a little more, we've been a little lax through the years of letting them kind of decide, or trusting that the village is doing, the police department is doing what it needs to do. Maybe there needs to be more of, you're doing this at this time. And maybe that'll help to where the program understands too. You're teaching about this unit this month here. It's spelled out, instead of just one party assuming the other party understands everything.
Yeah. I think something more clarity.
Which I know that has a kind of a double edge, because some people don't, it's micromanaging. And we've tried to kind of stay away from that, and your job, what you're supposed to do, but it's not working. So maybe we need to get a little, not we as a board, but the district needs to get a little micromanaging with this program to see if it can be successful for this amount of money.
And I don't think maybe not micromanaging, but if he's got 30 programs, go up to the elementary principal and say which 6 do you think you'd like me to do this year together? Because he obviously knows the kids. The kids know who he is. And talking to coaches, talking to the deans, talking to the teachers, what programs will work best. So he has the autonomy to kind of put it together. But yet the principals can say, I would like XYZ done by turnabout. I would like so-and-so done by Christmas.
Right. And
so there's 2 pools.
And discuss what is socially relevant right now.
Correct.
I mean, I get 100% that we want to start those kids having a good relationship with our police young, but I still think we need someone to be talking with our junior high and our high school kids about what is happening socially, because there's so much more dangers now. Social media, and as a parent of a child of older kids, they really don't understand what some of those consequences are for those actions. So I mean, I know we can discuss all of that in the grand scheme of things, but I mean, I really think that, yes, we need to decide as a district, as a community, what we would like our children to be engaged in, what's socially relevant to us, to our community, and that's what needs to be set forth for this program.
And I just see a lot of value to it, and maybe even having him a part of the back to school nights, the open houses, to really share with the parents, like, hey, this is who I am, and this is what my role is in the district with the students and the faculty. So they understand,
Engage more.
hey, you know, or even a little blurb in like the monthly newsletter that they send out, if he just puts something in just to say, hey, at the elementary, I'm doing this, or something so people are aware. But like you said, like, you know, the junior high and high school, social media, apps, like all that's everything that they don't think about.
And that might also help clarify where you said a lot of the things we hear around town is, oh, well, this fight happened, he wasn't there, where they think he's just a security.
And he's not the
And he's
security
not.
guard.
So maybe that would also help educate the community, no, this is what the SRO position is. That would probably be beneficial too.
Right, and to say, maybe not he's there for the fight, but maybe educate the kids on what would happen if there is a fight, if you engage in a fight, if you post a fight on social media, you know, like those kind of things. So,
More of the re-engagement part.
Yeah.
I think if we give it a year and it's like a more clear, the whole program is clear, the position's clear, the roles are clear. At some point, we may have a new SRO, they can easily step in instead of being like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. It's, here you go. This is kind of what we're looking for in somebody. 'Cause-
When it gives an extension to C, is it the program the issue, or we just don't have the right fit for the
Either,
program?
yeah.
Because that's two things, because right now,
It's a lot of things.
I think it's the program more than the person, but.
What is the police department saying about it? What is Chief Lemming's
Are they
view?
wanting to?
What are,
In terms of.
are they in favor of continuing the program? Are
Yes,
they?
yeah. Chief Lemon 100% would like to continue the program. I know the villages, they did provide a tentative 3-year extended agreement that would take effect. But what I think I'm hearing from this board is you guys would like to go back and have a conversation with the village and kind of maybe not do a 3-year, but do a reassessment of 1 year, look at the current contract and kind of make sure that it fits the needs of today's Beecher 200U.
And I almost feel like kind of what, you know, Adriana was kind of saying before about how, yeah, he's a police officer, he gets evaluated through that. But I almost feel like we need some type of evaluation as a district for how he's doing to see if he's the right fit. Because as you said, is it the program or is it the person? Right now, I think it's the program and the fact that we don't have, you know, as much of an issue. But we also need some of that accountability to be able to know, I mean, everybody gets evaluated. He doesn't know,
To be
he
fair to
doesn't
him,
know.
has he had any kind of
Yeah, any
evaluation?
feedback or anything, where he's saying like, hey, we want you to do this, other than
Except
just,
for now.
yeah.
I will reach out to Mr. Barber then, if that's fine, and there will not be anything on the board meeting Monday to talk about. I'll reach out to Mr. Barber, see when the village is willing to kind of sit down with 1, 2, whomever, and have a conversation. All right.
Maybe even like a midpoint check, like if we're gonna do a year, 6 months in, we have like a little check to say how things are going.
I would say evaluation,
Yeah.
because that lets him know how we,
Yeah.
like, you know, I mean, I like
Whoever it
evaluation.
is in the
Feedback is
Yeah.
good, no matter what, you need
Right.
feedback on what you're doing positive and what you're not. And not waiting till the end where it's too late to fix it.
All right. I will talk to Mr. Barber, and I can't imagine them not being open to just a 1-year addition to what we are currently doing, but never hurts to ask. All right.
And just as an aside, as far as the security matter, there is a technology available for similar to a fire alarm pole, a blue,
Oh, yeah, we have them in my school.
yeah, they have a blue pole, which is a, I don't know if they call it active shooter, but an emergency situation.
Yeah, that's hooked to the police station.
That goes out to all the policemen or anyone who's in the system to their cell phones that alerts them that there's an emergency going on and
Oh,
to
yeah.
respond.
We have some of that were like an alert.
Alert,
Our
yeah.
computer services will send us out something that says,
Oh, no, this is like how you have a fire alarm. It's a big blue button. And so like if you had a shooter or you heard anything, we're trying, you just
Yeah.
pop it
So-
and the police are all notified.
KCC, they now have, all the staff members have a necklace that has a blue button on it.
Oh.
So, now, KACC is a lot more open than we are because they have garage and everything, but you have to hold it down, I think, for like 20, 25 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, I didn't mean to do it.
So,
Yeah.
so I'll be curious how that works out for them. They're kind of piloting into that as well. So I'll look into this blue pole, see what that's all about.
Okay.
All right. A couple other things. So the art position, we are going to, as I promised to the community, we're going to open that back up, bring that back next year. That's going to do a couple things for the district itself. Obviously, we'll provide art to our elementary school. I'm talking to Dr. Kwasny to see if she wants to also do another art class at the junior high. That's what it was before. Or if she has some other ideas what she wants to do within those electives. But that art class will bring back junior high choir. I know that was another one of the things the community wanted to see. So that will allow Ms. Blake Becker to then go back to doing choir at the junior high starting next year. So that, unless I hear anything otherwise, is a go.
This is a full-time position?
Yep. We're looking for a full-time elementary, probably a K-8 is what we'll advertise it as.
Now, would that
position.
change anything with PE teachers? Because didn't to cover that, we got more
Well,
PE?
So whatever the schedule looked like last year is exactly what it'll look like next year. So we'll go back to, yep,
5 days PE. then.
5 days.
Okay.
The staff plan, the playing times will look that way. We'll have to do an MOU with the union, but we've already had that conversation with them. So it looks like the elementary is going to kind of get back into the swing of things.
So just adding one art,
And
that will make choir come back, but it's not
Yep.
adding that position.
Correct. But
Open up, yeah.
Yep, and so that will bring the specials back down to 30 minutes instead of 45. And so that allows more blocks to be available. So it's a good thing, it's a very good thing. The other thing Ms. Compton brought forward to me is at the elementary, every grade has a sped teacher except for kindergarten. Kindergarten is split with kindergarten and first grade. And the highest growing population of students that we have moving into 200U, 100% is the sped department. There is, out of every 5 kids we get, 3 have an IEP or a 504, and I'm not exaggerating. Ms. Compton's doing a phenomenal job of trying to get everything organized, but we are now at a point where Ms. Lorna CC, who does both of those grade levels, is being stretched extremely thin. And so she has asked me to open up a elementary kindergarten special ed position for next year. That will also help our transition EC kids going into kindergarten as well. I think it's a tremendous idea. It is a
Do we have a lot of children at the kindergarten level for sped? Because usually they don't test them until first grade.
Well, because they're coming from EC, so you know,
Yeah.
Okay.
at least the
Okay.
minimum number, yeah.
Yeah.
From what I understand, that's
Yep.
been something that they've been wanting for a while.
Yep.
Because
It's needed for sure.
Yep.
the kids are sitting in a regular kindergarten classroom, and there's a lot of struggles, and I know teaching, reading, if you don't fix issues before 4th grade, you are not teaching new things, you are teaching compensation strategies.
Yep.
Between K and 4, if you see developmental delays, reading delays, any delays, and you can address them between kindergarten, 4th, and 3rd grade, then you are doing a whole lot less 4th through 12th grade. Because I'm just teaching kids how to compensate, how to strategies to get around deficits. I cannot teach you something brand new. It's brain research.
With
like.
getting so many sped, the side topic, are we going to get any special audits or anything? Like, I know your percentage, if you have a high percentage of sped, you end up getting, audited more and stuff.
Yep, we're good. Matter of fact, we just got I got a letter.
I know we
today.
got our big audit, that's why it was in my mind.
I just got the ISB letter today saying we met all requirements of our
Okay.
SPED program. So I sent that along to Ms. Compton, and she didn't respond. She never responds. I don't think she likes me. So at some point in time, we will open that up. I told Ms. Compton that I probably will look towards December to see if we can't catch some of these semester graduates who are looking for jobs next year. We just, on Monday night, you'll have a hire for an instructional aide who's graduating in December. She's looking for a job. So I think it's going to be a nice, hopefully we'll get a few people
Should have a
in
sped
there.
endorsement?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Just saying.
Not yet, but her mom was with us for over 30 years. Her dad currently is employed by us. So I think Emily Harris will be a nice addition to the program here at Beecher. The last one, It's something that I strongly believe we need. And it has nothing to do with Michelle, Dr. Quasi. At the high school, we have Steve Sarseny, we have Bob Ogden, we have Mike. We have 3 administrators at the high school.
Plus you.
Sure, we'll say plus me.
Well, you're here, I mean, need be.
Right. At the elementary, you have Nicole, and you actually have Miss Compton. Miss Compton does a lot of, that APs would do. Junior high, you have Michelle. I know Bob goes over and helps, but you have Michelle. And the number of kids who take up her time with discipline is only growing. And it has
Oh, and that
nothing-
age group, it's just that age group.
Correct, and it has nothing to, and again, when I present this, it's not Dr. Quasi's not doing it, she's doing a phenomenal job. Matter of fact, we're doing, I created a new thing at school, we're called shout outs. People submit things to me and at the end of the week, I send an email to all staff shouting out things. I've now had a couple of her staff give it to me that I need to shout out Dr. Quasi to the staff. She does a phenomenal job. But I went over to her office today, and what was she doing? She was stuck watching film because of a situation that happened, and, I mean, what I believe needs to happen is I need to get her an administrator over there. Now, there's a couple of ways that we could try to make this work. Mr. Peichel has not put in for retirement. He did I will say, a good job last year filling in for Dr. Cole. He was not Michelle, but he did a good job. So there's 2 avenues that we can explore. The first one is we create a PE position at the junior high, a full-time PE position, and then perhaps Mr. Peichel, if he's interested, is a dean for half of his day, and then kind of fills in where we need him for PE classes. Because the PE classes are getting up around 60 kids. And when you have 2 teachers, it's 30 kids per class. I have not talked to Mr. Peichel about this. I don't know if he'd be willing to do it, but that's kind of one of the avenues I might explore if you guys are interested in that aspect of it. You add a PE teacher, which I think we should be able to find at the junior high level at a full-time rate, and then Mr. Peichel kind of takes over that quasi-administrative role. And if and when he puts in for retirement, it gives you guys that 3 years of him being in that position, and then we can reassess it in 3 years. Or if we don't need the PE portion of it, he's still there for 3 years, and we can have him as the full-time team. Option 2 is you straight up you advertise for a junior high dean. We are the only school in our conference that does not have a second administrator at the junior high level.
Okay, and if they, any kind of after-school detention or anything like that, they schedule it like once a week, and Ogden has to go over, or Martowitz steps up, like, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
things that I've seen
Yeah.
even in the past couple of years, is it's not even like they're getting their punishment or whatever right away, because it's just not doable, because there's not enough people to cover things.
Yeah. And the other aspect of it, Michelle's job, we don't have a curriculum coordinator, obviously, in this district.
Yeah.
It's the principals. So Mike does have a little bit of levity to kind of make sure that things are going. He can meet with his Bravo team. Michelle doesn't have that autonomy. She spends a lot of her time doing discipline, and I know we're worried about test scores. I would really like Michelle, because her forte is curriculum. She's good with curriculum. She doesn't have a lot of time to get to that because of all the other things she's working with.
Would this be so he would be an administrator for halftime? Would this be a?
Like Brandon, kind of?
So if you went with
Wait,
option
no.
A,
Yes.
the answer to that is yes. But if he put in for retirement, his salary's locked, but yes, he would be halftime administrator, halftime teacher.
So,
Yeah, okay, go
No,
ahead.
no,
No, go ahead, ask.
Yeah, and would there be a stipend, or is this just?
So, again, if
Trying it out, or, you
w-
know.
once he puts in for retirement,
Mhm.
he's locked.
Right.
Due to TRS regulations. And again, Mr. Peichel might say,
He might
you know,
not,
Yeah,
right,
he might
I'm
say, no, I
retiring
don't
for
want to
3
deal
years.
with it.
Hey, thanks for thinking of me. I'm glad you thought I did a good job. I want
Yeah.
to be a PE teacher.
True.
If that's the case, I'll come back to you guys and say, you know what? We're just gonna hire a dean. We're gonna hire a dean that can work with these junior high kids, that can help Michelle out, and then maybe take some of the other things off of her plate so she can focus on being a principal, working with her staff, getting curriculum done. But I didn't want to I don't wanna start talking, having conversations with
If it wasn't
staff
even a
members.
possibility.
Yeah, if
Until
you guys
it's
are
a
gonna be like,
possibility,
Yeah.
Jack, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
So-
Ogden's only a dean at the high school and he
He
fills
would be
in at
next
the junior
year.
high.
He would be next, if we went that option,
Oh.
I would leave Bob here, be a full-time.
But right
dean.
now, what is he both?
He's half and half.
Oh, he's half and half.
He's half-time at the junior high, half-time at the high school. And
Oh.
again, stretching him.
Yeah,
Because
we
it's-
need somebody
Yeah.
at the junior high
Yeah.
for sure. I know, like, I'm not sure how the administrative and position works, but I know at our school, deans are administrators.
Right.
They're teachers with a stipend.
Yep,
Nope.
that's how ours are.
Nope, ours are,
No, we do
yeah, they
differently.
both have contracts.
Yeah.
Okay, so we would
I'm
have to
sorry,
follow
he has
that,
it.
Right.
because we have that already.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'd probably do is if again, if you guys are fine with this, and Mr. Peichel said, you know what, I really like that idea, I enjoyed being an administrator, I would probably look at what we did with Brandon Du Bois and kind of create that form of a contract with him, and with the acknowledgement that he probably will do maybe 1 or 2 periods of PE just to lighten the load of that PE class. Or if it's, hey, Jack, we don't, if he says, I have no interest in it, and if it's a dean or it's an AP, if you want to call it an AP, we'll do a full contract like we do with Bob. There'd be a 201, there would not be a 240. I'm a 240. He's a 240-day employee. Bob, what are you? 241? Yeah, oh, okay. Well, I know you're more than that. But Bob and Steve are 201s, so they're here, I think, a week after, and they come back for a little bit. I would not do it as a 12-month role.
I just looked at the last board packet, the numbers of the kids are staying about the same over the student population.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So if there's issues now with the numbers of kids,
Yeah.
I mean, you have
Yeah.
70, 80, 70, that's the same numbers as the junior high, so we're not getting smaller.
And Mike can tell you, when he was at the junior high 3 years ago, he was dealing with discipline all the time.
No, there should be.
There's
someone-
always like a
there should
line.
be their
You go in
own-
that office, there's a line of kids waiting
There
for
should be their
discipline
own
I don't know
issues.
about
dean.
that.
Sometimes when I go in, it's always, well, because if there's like
Just
four
for
of
like
them.
random
Yeah.
stuff too, obviously, you know, if that doesn't.
Junior high, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's always an issue.
It's the roughest years, for
Yeah.
sure. No, I think we definitely
Transitioning.
need somebody extra
Well, this
there
sounds
for
like
sure.
the most financially
Yeah.
acceptable.
So I will have a conversation with Mr. Michael and see if that is something that he would be interested in. If he is not, then he will maintain 2 PE teachers over there, and what I'll do is I'll probably post for an admin in the spring. I'm not gonna do that in December.
And
No
even
offense, I'm not
if
looking for somebody out of college.
he's not interested, could we, maybe we have somebody else there that would like to do the same thing, like a half-half? Would that be an open, or
Well-
would that be too hard because we
Yeah,
need
'cause-
them to teach the whole day?
Yeah, because I don't know of any other positions at the junior high that I would hire a full-time person to
Yeah.
kind of lighten their load. I mean,
And we don't have anyone where we could take away without,
right.
like, we don't have any classes that are like super, you know, there's
Light.
hardly anyone in it, so we
Yeah.
could take a couple out.
Right.
Okay,
So.
okay. I was trying to think if you can kind of promote from within, you know?
Especially without a director of curriculum and instruction.
Yeah.
You're asking an admin to do a department chair job, a curriculum job, a dean job, that's,
Yep.
It's too
Yeah.
much.
It is a
Too
lot.
much.
you can do a better job of the job you've been hired to do if you're not asked to do 17 other things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to do a good job, but like this allows her to do.
Which brings me to the last position, an assistant superintendent. I'm just kidding.
But I've kind of always thought that even the same thing at the elementary. She's got the most kids in the whole district. And even
And-
though there's not as much behavior issues, it's still, she's got almost double the kids. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
she's got a lot over there too. I know Dawn helps, but there's a lot down there too. We are severely lacking in the administration and
As I informed Ms. Black, I just gave her 2 staff members. There's only so much I can do for that. Mr. Meyer has not gotten anything out of this mix, except for he's gonna get Mr. Ogden.
Well, he'll get Ogden.
Yeah, so, that's all the potential positions I'm looking at next year. If you wanna know what the cost, I can't tell you the exact cost of 3 employees is going to be because I don't know what they're gonna be hired at. It's safe to say, if you hire a teacher semi-fresh out of school, they're making 40, 45, 46, plus insurance benefits. You're probably looking at about 75,000 for a new staff member overhead. So 2 staff members, 150. We're still, if you remember when I provided you that finance document regarding the potential bonds, the levy, you guys will see on Monday. We should be, like I said, we should be about 1.25 over budget next year. We should be in the black next year. So taking away $300,000 for new staff, you're still about $800,000 in the black. If we are still doing the bond, you're still looking about $500,000 in the black with all of these additions. So that's kind of what I want to make sure everybody's aware of. And I've said it like 40 times, I'll say it 45 more times. I will never bring anything to you guys that will put this district back in a position it was in 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I still say no to people when they come and ask me for things, I promise. I've been yelled at plenty of times. No is still an answer, but there are some things that just are paramount. And I think the art program coming back here, the choir program, that is, to me, that's extremely important. 5-day PE, the kindergarten sped, that's a no-brainer. If you're a teacher, you understand it. And even the dean thing, I mean, that's going to help a lot of kids out.
Yeah.
So, and no, I'm not looking to fire anybody, because that's the other question I always get. Well, who are you getting rid of? We're not getting rid of anybody. Carl? Okay.
I do the last one.
So,
Anyone else have anything personnel related? Seeing no audience members, no public comment, ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.